Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Crimes, Killers, Cults.
And beer.
Yeah. A little, I think
I was drinking
you were
beer.
drinking a beer.
Yes, I was.
Anyway, that's Todd.
And that's Bill.
Yep, and we're gonna do this thing. This one, like I said on the last episode, Michael Malloy. Todd didn't know anything about the story of Michael Malloy. However, he does know about this story. So,
a little bit, yes. Anyway, so what are we drinking here today?
Oh, well, I have a lager that has been enjoyed by every soldier in every war, except a light version of it.
Bud Light again, huh?
Every soldier in every war depended upon Budweiser, and I am drinking the light version of it. So yes, I'm thinking about the troops and enjoying what they enjoyed, and ready to
Absolutely.
go. What are you drinking?
I have another New Belgium Voodoo Ranger. This one is called Juicy Haze IPA.
Dookie?
It's got juicy.
Okay, scared me there for a second.
It's got like some citrus flavors and other fruit stuff to it. It's really nice. I figured the fruit would be good for this one.
Yeah, since we're dealing with a fruitcake.
And speaking of that, which piece of trash are we going to trash today?
None other than Luka the Puka Magnotta.
Oh, Luka.
Yeah, and sources mainly are don't fuck with cats. That's pretty much all I used. I just watched that a couple times and started and took notes. So not a lot of sources on this one. Todd, you watched the video?
I did watch a video by the Fifth Estate about him too on YouTube. So there might be some stuff from that as well.
Okay. Well, we're gonna dive right into this piece of shit. And by the way, thanks to all the people that found the site off of Facebook last night, or found our podcast, because I mean, a bunch of you listened to it, and we appreciate the hell out of that.
Definitely.
Our first episode in, you guys are obviously digging it, so we definitely appreciate that. So, anyway, just wanted to say thank you there. So anyway, Luka the Puka Magnotta. He was born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman.
Yes.
On July 4th, 1987. But he changed his name to Luka Magnotta in 2006. His mother was Anna Yorkin, and she comes up later, prominently in the story later on, and not in a good way. And then, of course, his victim was a student, an exchange student, June Lin, and I think I said the name right.
Yep, June Lin. That's him.
June Lin. So, of course, everybody knows the basics of this story and everything, but we're just going to we're going to start at the beginning. So, he was homeschooled. He was sheltered, and he was, he even at 16 years old, he was a vain, egotistical jerk. But at 16, he went to public school for the first time. And this is public school in Canada, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the difference between private school and public school is. And, in the United States, you have public school it's debatable. Like, some people swear by public school, some people swear by private school, some people swear by homeschool. I don't know what the pecking order is in Canada, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
But I'm trying to get into, figure out what happened. I mean, is it possible that he could have been, like, all of a sudden, I'm going to school for the first time and tried to come in and be a badass? You think?
I don't know. Maybe, but the thing that I just watched, the video on YouTube, said he was, like, when he was in school, he was very unremarkable, unnoticeable. Like, he wasn't trying to get attention.
But,
like, maybe he was afraid. Like, I don't know.
It could have been. I mean, of course, everybody knows he was devastatingly good looking.
Yes. I mean, honestly, dude, he wasn't that bad looking a guy.
No, but I mean, he wasn't as good looking as he thought he was.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't call him devastatingly good looking.
Oh, he would call himself devastatingly good.
Yes. Yes, he did. In fact, he did.
So, in 2003, he becomes a porn actor. He's doing these, low budget, low pay, seedy, questionable gay porn videos. And he also became a model and a stripper and an escort. And his escort name was Jimmy. Jimmy. So, in 2004, this is when he really starts to become a dirtbag. He takes advantage of a 21-year-old mentally disabled woman that said that she had a capacity of an 8 to 12-year-old. And he convinces her to take out credit cards in her name and then charges up $10,000 worth of stuff. And he
Is that how he got the plastic surgery?
Could have been. Although...
Because that was never really made... Right, I don't know.
Well, in Canada, and I'm not really going to go into how I know this, but I do know that in Canada, a lot of your cosmetic surgery like that can be covered under insurance and are free. I know somebody...
Really?
I mean, I know somebody who wants to go up there to Canada just so that they can have some elective surgery done.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
See, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
All right, then.
I wasn't either until this person told me, and I'm not going to say who this person is, but I don't know. It's a kind of a consider the source. I mean, I don't think this person would have said that if it wasn't true.
If it wasn't true, right? No worries,
right.
Man. It's all good.
So, but anyway, he was charged and convicted of fraud, and he allegedly sexually assaulted this girl as well, but for some reason the charges on that were dropped. Which, I mean, you got to be a piece of shit to. I mean, you really got to be a piece of shit to sexually assault anybody, but to take advantage of somebody that is mentally disabled and sexually assault him. I mean, he even videotaped him doing this shit to her. And it was still thrown out. I guess the girl didn't want to press charges. I don't know. It's been a while.
I think that's what it was.
It's unfortunate because
yes, very
too many people get away with rape and sexual assault and whatnot because the victim is too afraid to speak up. In 2005, he got the cover for a Toronto gay magazine as the cover boy, and on the website for that he put that he was Russian born and he wanted to become a detective. He dates a transgender woman and has her takes a lot of photos of him, and she later in an interview said, I was like, okay, yeah, he's just totally full of himself, and I honestly think that I'm not surprised that any of this happened. So,
yeah, she could tell he had problems,
right? Although I think she was in those interviews, I think she was kind of looking for her 15 minutes as well.
Well, yeah, of course, but
Anyway, in 2007, old Jimmy Luka. I like that. That's my name for him, Jimmy Luka, the Puka. In 2007, he decides that he just comes to the realization that he should be famous. And this is actually my favorite part of the story. My favorite part of the entire story, because I really like hearing about people who just think that they're all that, and just everybody's ignoring them. So old Jimmy Luka, he made around 70 Facebook fan pages, all about himself, and he would come up with different usernames for all of these various fan pages and everything, and he would make comments like, "Oh, Luka Magnotta is so sexy. Oh, I can't wait till he gets his first movie. Oh, marry me, Luka." And all this, he's saying it to himself in different personas. They're all talking back and forth to each other. And you know what? I've had these notes for probably 3 months now. It took me that long. This was originally going to be Crime, Killers, Cults, and Beer's first show, but then later on I decided to change it up to Michael Malloy because of the content. It had crimes, killers, cults, and beer in that story. So I figured that was it couldn't have a better first episode. So this one got pushed over to the side, and prior to you joining, I was talking to somebody else about starting this up, and that person was, let's just say not very reliable. So then I realized I should have asked my buddy Todd to do it in the first place.
Said, and here we are.
Yep. So this has been a work in progress for like probably 6 months at least. So anyway, he just spends hours and hours and hours, logging into this profile to comment on this page and then logging out and everything. So it looks like he's got quite a following. And I guess if you're a local actor somewhere or whatever, and you've got a page with 70 people on it, then I guess that's not bad. But, I mean, we don't have 70 followers yet.
No.
But the ones that we do have are all real.
Yes, we're not making up followers.
No. And there are people out there that want to sell you fake followers and stuff like that. I get it for my music, and I get it for, and I've started getting it ever since we first put out this podcast and the other one. They've found me, and they've messaged me. They've sent me emails. Hey, get up to 10,000. Shut up. Just go away. So, and on top of all this fake stuff on Facebook, he's also like photoshopping himself into various locations around the world, and he's like, "I'm in Rome, I'm in Russia, I'm in Miami." Whoa, we just said Miami at the same time.
Yes, we did.
So then, this really wasn't working with him. He wasn't getting any like new, actual, real followers on his pages, and I guess I'm just assuming this because, you would think that you would get the clue. It's like, okay, every single person on here is a persona that I created, and I've had these up for like a year, and nobody new has come onto it. So he's like, okay, I got to be famous, so I got to come up with another idea. So he starts spreading rumors on his fake pages that he is dating Karla Homolka. Now, do you know who Karla Homolka is?
Yes, I kind of sort of do.
She was one of the Ken and Barbie killers in Canada. And I'm sure that we'll get to, I'm sure that we'll definitely cover them at some point. But she was one of them, and she had done her time. Because in Canada, they don't do life in prison. But, so she's already done her time and been out. So he's spreading rumors saying, I'm not dating Karla Homolka. But the thing is, Karla Homolka is probably like 12 or 13 years older than he is. So I don't think that I wouldn't even believe it, even if I had just, it's like, first of all, okay, who the hell is this Luka Magnotta? And
right.
Why should I care if he's dating Karla Homolka or not? Yeah. You know who a modern day, like a current version of Luka Magnotta is, minus the murder. Those freaking Island Boy idiots.
Oh, yeah.
I see it, but I see a lot of... But you know what? They don't have fake followers. The people that... Yeah, there is a handful of seriously depraved people that genuinely do like them.
Yep.
But... Anyway. So he goes so far as to go to a newspaper to set the record straight that he wasn't dating Carla Homolka. He creates...
He denies his own rumor.
Yeah, he creates the rumor that he is, and then he's like, I got to set the record straight that I'm not... And you got to figure... I mean, the people ran the story because they said that Luka had said that he was getting death threats over the fact that he was dating Carla Homolka. So I mean, they ran the story because they had no reason to believe that it wasn't true. So they ran the story, and it's like, it's like, okay, this guy, I mean, I've never heard of him, but, if people are threatening him over something that's not true, then maybe we should help him out. That was before the media turned into a hit squad.
Yes.
So, but he continued spreading all of his own rumor. Like, it was like one page, one would say, he'd go on there and say, he'd go on there as Luka Magnotta, I am not dating Carla Homolka, and then one of his fake followers would, yes, you are, and I'm going to kill you.
What a narcissist, man. Holy crap.
Big time. I mean, you look up the word narcissist, and there's got to be a picture of him.
There should be, if there isn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the worst. I mean, so in spreading this rumor, he tried twice to make his own Wikipedia page about himself, and it was rejected.
Dude, a Wikipedia of all things fucking rejected it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, you could put anything you want on Wikipedia, man.
That's how pathetic he was. Wikipedia looked. I guess you have to verify the submitted page and everything. They looked it over, like, okay, this guy's full of shit.
I guess.
In 2007, he auditioned for a reality show called Cover Guy, where if you got on there, it was $1,000 cash and a fashion photo shoot and a year membership at a gym. And he, of course, was rejected. So then he tries another one, Plastic Makes Perfect. It was a show about people getting, who are addicted to plastic surgery. On his audition tapes for these two shows, he was saying things like, "Oh yeah, people think I'm devastatingly good looking," and they're like, "Okay, you have a very ugly." "Oh yeah, I've always had this voice." It sound like Elmer Fudd with a Quaalude. But the funny thing about it was that wasn't his voice, because there are videos later on in his, where he's got the camera up when he's, in police custody, and he's just like, help me. It didn't sound like the devastatingly good-looking man,
Well, you got to change your voice, I mean,
yeah,
anybody could do it, you know what I mean? It's just, if you're he's playing a character, the narcissist in him is like, okay, this version of me is going to sound like this, or like this, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, on our other show, I come up with voices all the time.
Yes, you do.
And I'm thinking that trend is about to continue on this one with old Jimmy Luka.
With old Jimmy Luka.
Jimmy Luka. So in 2010, he on his social media page, there was a snuff video that came out. It was called 3 Guys, 1 Hammer, and he starts posting this. And like, oh, check this video out, and blah, 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 blah. And it was of these three assholes just murdering a guy, just beating them to death with a hammer. And they did it slowly. Now, that video's available out there. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to. I don't get my kicks off of things like that. But,
oh, no.
Yeah. But there are some podcasts about the people that made that video. I've heard one or two of them. I can't remember their names, but whatever. If I come across one again, I'll have to send it to you, because there is a video. It's a story that could go hand in hand with this one.
Right on.
Just like Carlo Homolka could do. I'd like to see an interview with Carlo Homolka. It's like, did you even know what were you thinking when all of a sudden these news come out and you got Jimmy Luka up there saying, I'm not dating Carlo Homolka, I want to set the record. But at that time she had already changed her name and was basically living in seclusion, just staying out of the limelight, as any reformed serial killer who managed to get out of prison would do. So allegedly she is. Well, we'll cover them in a future episode, because that's a crazy story as well. So
sure.
So yeah, it's just red flag. Okay, he's getting his kicks off of this video. It's like, oh, check this out. This is awesome. And it's more. Hey, look at me. I'm famous. I'm Luka. I'm Jimmy Luka. You care about me. You should worship me. Like, shut up, Jimmy Luka.
Right? You narcissistic piece of shit.
Yeah. So then later on, a short time later, he posts "One Boy, Two Kittens," the infamous video
Don't fuck with cats.
Yep. And the thing is, he wanted to be famous, and now he is, but not for the right reasons. But the thing is, at this point, you couldn't even tell. You couldn't even say who he was.
Yep.
Right then, he's just a head. He cut out his head, so that could have been anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, oh well, that guy is famous because he killed two kittens. Basically, the YouTube removed the video, but it still managed to go viral. So several other sites that post things like that wound up picking it up. So so all of a sudden, people obviously pissed off. Because you don't fuck with cats. And
damn right you don't.
No, there was a Facebook page went up called "Find the Kitten Vacuumer for Justice." And should I tell what this video was, or should we just assume at this point everybody's seen the? I'll just.
If everybody knows who he is, they know what happened.
He puts these kittens into a plastic bag, sticks the end of a vacuum cleaner in it, and sucks all the air out, suffocating the kittens. There, that's it.
Yes.
So
it was hard to watch.
It was.
Even though they didn't show the whole thing, and I'm sure it was like a reenactment, I don't think it was probably the real video.
No, it was.
It was just hard to watch. Oh, it was the real video?
A clip of it. They didn't show. I mean, later on, he did show the dead cats. He was playing with them.
Yeah. Well, see, I have 7 cats, and that, really, really angered me.
Oh, me too. I've had... I had a cat that I raised from a kitten, died when it was 20 years old. That was my cat.
Yep. Yeah. So, dude, like it says, man, you don't fuck with cats.
Mm-mm. Or puppies.
Or any animals.
Or any animal.
Really?
Unless it's a rat.
I mean, dude, I know, dude. All right, if you got to hunt to survive, that's one thing, dude. I don't have an issue with that.
Right.
But just killing something because you can.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
No, I definitely have a problem with that.
Yeah. So they're looking at the they're trying to find out who the kitten killer is. So they found clues. They got a blueprint. They mapped out the room. There was a wolf quilt on the bed. There was a video. There was a video playing on the TV. There are Russian voices in it, and it's determined that it's a Russian sitcom. Yeah,
he added that later to throw him off his trail.
Right. So then, there's video of him playing with the dead kittens, but there's also a pack of cigarettes in there that was bought in the U.S. They could tell by the warning label on it. They're all different in every country. Every country has their own version of them. Like in Great Britain, the warning on the packs of cigarettes that are there takes up like 3/4 of the damn pack of cigarettes, and they're not,
dude. It's like a skull and crossbones. Like, this will kill you. Don't
cigarettes
do it.
will kill you. I mean, so they also find out about this, the vacuum. They go to back in the early to mid 2000s, there were message boards for just about everything. There's just as many message boards as there are Facebook pages now. Anyway, this message board forum, it was about vacuum cleaners. So they were able to get the model and find out that it was bought in the U.S. So then, old Jimmy Luka posts a message on there. He says, with a clip of the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, and that's a movie about criminals, or about a cop, a detective chasing a criminal all over the country. So then
pretends to be a whole bunch of different things.
Right.
Kind of like our boy here.
Kind of like old Jimmy Luka, except I think
except the guy in the movie really did shit, and Jimmy
right.
Luka just like Photoshop pictures. But yeah,
right. So he taunts his haters, and he says, "Suck my big hairy dick" or something like that. So, asshole. So, a new Facebook group was formed because the first one was getting spammed relentlessly by, probably by Luka and all of his 70-some-odd identities.
How do you keep track of that many accounts? Holy crap.
Well, that's what I was saying. He would sit there for hours and hours and hours, logging out of one, logging into another, just doing all of that.
But I mean, just like, dude, how do you remember everything?
Yeah. I mean, he probably used the same password on every account, but he had to have a different email for every account. He's the reason I can't find a. He's the reason I can't set up a new email for myself without adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the end of
it. Right? He used up all the good names.
Frickin' Jimmy Luka, prick. So.
Anywho.
Yeah, they keep going over the photos, but there's no timestamp on them because they're hard to pinpoint. And then they tried to get the Toronto police involved, but the police blew them off. Animal abuse, it's a gateway crime. Animal abuse. I mean, you're going to hear this in just the majority of the serial killers that we cover in this podcast. They start off abusing animals, and then they graduate to killing people.
Yes.
So but it's always like every time, it seems like every time that you've got somebody that's abusing animals and stuff like that, the cops just kind of brush it off unless it's something big. And I mean,
yeah,
it's infuriating.
Yeah, the cops don't seem to care about that. And until the person kills an actual human, the cops don't give a shit. Right.
Or they never think that it's really a big he's just killing birds. So what? Yeah, well, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
So Puky Luka, he goes on. He finds his way into this, this private Facebook group that, the new one, and he posts under one of his fake accounts that they should be looking for Luka Magnotta. He's been a total idiot throughout this entire story, but that's probably at up to this point, that is the stupidest thing that he's done. If he wanted to get away with it, but the thing is he didn't want to get away. He didn't want to be anonymous. He wanted to be infamous. We're a week from not next week's episode, but the following week's episode, we're going to be covering BTK. He's another one that just had to be in the spotlight for what he did, but he didn't want anybody to know his name.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get to that piece of dog shit. Luka Magnotta then calls a New York attorney, Romeo Salsa. And just out of the blue, are there any warrants out for a devastatingly good-looking guy? No, that's not what he said. He asked if there were any warrants out for him specifically. And, of course, he's in Canada at that time calling a New York attorney.
Yeah. Reasons?
Science.
I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. Science should freaking dissect his brain once he finally dies.
Well, well, we'll get to that later too. But yeah, they're gonna have to ask permission from his wife or husband
or mother
or whoever he married in prison.
Oh, that's right. He did, didn't he? He did that, didn't he?
Yeah, I know that's jumping ahead again, but we'll get there.
Okay, I forgot about that. I don't even know if I have it written down. I'm just going off of my notes that I haven't looked at in like 3 months. So, anyway, he's like, okay, there's no warrants out for him. So he comes up with this story about this guy, Manny Lopez, who was forcing him to kill the cats and threatening him and his family if he didn't kill the cats and post the videos.
Well,
really?
Well, I mean, I'm devastatingly good looking, and and Manny Lopez, Manny Lopez is a bad dude.
See what I did there? Corn Pop?
Corn Pop.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. No, I'm going to cut that part out. Manny Lopez is a bad dude. So, but still, I mean, he threatened, kill these cats or I'm gonna hurt you and your family. Okay, yeah, that's about as believable as as if I told you that I was the king of Denmark.
Or the Tsarina of Tokyo.
Hey, that's equally believable.
Yes.
As Manny Lopez forcing him to kill cats.
Yeah, that's just bullshit. It's like, I want to be famous. I want to be this famous killer, but I didn't kill anybody because of me.
I didn't kill anybody.
I did it because this dude told me to.
Yeah. So Luka then, after contacting Salsa, Luka emails Salsa with this long sob story saying how Manny strangled him with his hands and wires, and he stabbed him, and he forced him to have sex with puppies and cats.
Yeah.
I don't think that having sex with I don't think having sex with a cat is a good idea. I mean, obviously for the ethical, it's like don't fuck with a cat, but a cat will fuck you up.
Yeah, there's no way I'm putting my junk anywhere near a cat.
No. I mean, You know, I mean, you could have a cat. I mean, just sometimes you could have a cat in your lap, and all of a sudden it gets a wild hair up its ass and like jumps off of you, digs its freaking claws into your stomach and guts you.
Your stomach,
Yeah,
if you're lucky.
Yeah, it could be something else.
Cat sitting on your lap, man, he could dig into your scrot.
Yep.
Anywho.
Cats are cool. Cats are cool, but they're crazy too.
Yeah. Don't fuck cats.
So
just don't do it.
Right. So anyway, he said that Manny said that if Luka went to the cops, that Manny would kill Salsa and his mother. So now now he's threatening Salsa indirectly. He's threatening Salsa through Manny.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden he disappears, and then he emails Salsa saying he was kidnapped by Manny and flown from New York to Miami, where he was raped and tortured and beaten. And there's a photo. He kind of, you know, might have beaten himself up, roughed himself up a little bit. But the doctors in Miami say that there's like no evidence of an assault. Yeah, and he had actually gone down to Miami just for sake. And where is he getting all this money to go from? Yeah, he doesn't have a job unless he's, you know, that hot Jimmy escort money.
Right.
I mean, how's he flying? You know, he does fly. He does fly. He flies from New York to Miami. He flies from Miami over to, you know, Paris or whatever. So he's got money. How the hell is he getting all this money?
That's a good question.
I mean, I work my ass off, and I can't just decide to oh, hey, I'm going to go to Paris.
Right. Dude, I would get on a plane anyway right now. Fuck that shit.
I've only flown twice.
I mean, I realize
4
nowadays
times.
it's
2
different
trips.
than when all this shit was going on, but still.
Right. Yeah, it's miserable. Airplane flights and bus rides, 2 of the most miserable things that you can do.
Yep.
That and taking the ride up to the top of the St. Louis Arch as a 6'4" man.
Yeah, I bet that was a little uncomfortable, huh?
Oh, you don't know. It was awful. I do not recommend the St. Louis Arch if you're tall.
I can imagine. I mean, I've seen the thing.
God,
it's really not that big.
Well, it's as big as like the biggest buildings in St. Louis.
You know what I mean, though, the inside of it.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not.
I'm sure you were ducking.
and
I'm sure you were fucking like on your knees for probably.
Well, there's chairs that you sit in.
I mean, I know on the elevator going
I've-
up, but I mean, like once you got up to the top, dude, I bet you were like hunched over to look out the windows, ducking so you don't hit the ceiling.
I had to bend down to look out the windows. And the windows are tiny. They're like the size of a window in an airplane.
Yeah.
It was totally miserable, and I don't recommend the Arch to anybody ever.
Unless you're short.
And it's fucking hot, unless you're short. But it's hot. I mean, the elevators didn't have an air conditioning system working in them, and it didn't seem like there was an elevator or air conditioner at the top of the thing. And I was there in like July.
Oh yeah.
Miserable. Anyway, this isn't the digression show.
I know. And we're digressing again.
Yeah. So, anyway, he was down in Miami, and the doctors looked him over and said that there was actually no evidence of that he was assaulted. He goes back to wherever the hell Jimmy Luka Puka goes, and he posts another video, and it's the video of a cat that's duct taped to a broom, and then he just took it and drowned it in the cat. And that one was even harder to watch than the first one, because you could just see the fucking terror in that cat's eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to jump at my TV or in my computer screen and just, I wanted to duct tape him to something and stick him in a vault of acid.
I almost stopped watching it after that one.
Yeah, that one was hard. But I remember you know, when I first brought you on board with this, you sent me an email, or you sent me a text message after I said, you know, watch Don't Fuck with Cats. You're like, what the fuck did you just have me watch? I said, I want to kill this ass. I want to feed this asshole to an alligator.
Yes. Bring your ass to Florida again, motherfucker. I'll find you.
Yeah, right.
And you will just disappear.
We'll go to Gatorland.
We don't even have to go to Gatorland, dude. I know every place where there's wild hogs and alligators around this place, dude. Just fucking take him out to a swamp and he'll just cease to exist.
Yep. And you would. If the gators don't get you, the hogs will.
Yep. And if there's no body, there's no crime.
And the crazy thing is if you and I if we did this to Puka Magnotta, then we would be, you know, and we got caught, we would be in trouble.
That's why you don't get caught.
But also at this point.
But we're not going to brag about it on the internet neither. So.
No. Want to go to Canada?
Dude, I'm not breaking his ass out of prison just to drag him down here and feed him to goddamn alligators, dude. Fuck that. Let him rot.
Hey, Epstein. We'll go there and we'll get jobs as prison guards.
Oh yeah, and he committed suicide by putting 5 rounds in the back of his head.
Right.
Because you know you can do that.
Shortly after, you know, like within days after after that last video, he posts another one, and he's in a Santa hat. You know, you can't see his face, but you can see that he's in a Santa hat, and there's a little kitty on the bed, and there's also a Burmese python on the bed, and he's taunting, and you know, Burmese python does what Burmese pythons do.
Yes,
they eat. I ain't faulting the snake on this one, but you know, because that's what they do.
Yeah, it's
but
not the snake's fault.
I am faulting him. You're supposed to feed rats to pythons, not cats.
Yeah, funny story. I mean, and this is kind of a digression, but it fits with what we were just talking about. I was in a pet store, you know, some years ago. And I was, you know, you're walking through the pet store and you go to the where the cats are and everything, dude. And there was this dude and his girlfriend there, and he goes, "Dude, I bet my snake would eat one of these."
And I knew a guy briefly who had a boa, and when I say I knew him briefly, it was just, you know, like random passing, just struck up a conversation with him at a bar, never saw him again type of thing. But he said that he had a boa, and he would search the classifieds for, you know, free kittens, you know, free to a good home. And I'm just like,
obviously he wasn't.
Dude, you need to get the fuck away from me. Right? I'm like, you just need to get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, like
you know,
fuck off.
He thought it was cool
right now.
Yeah, before I feed you to an alligator.
You gotta love us Florida boys, man. We know how to get rid of a body.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll just talk. One thing I said like a minute ago. That's a T-shirt. We'll put crimes, killers, cults, and beer at the top of it, and there'll be a picture, like a picture of Puka, and then it said rats, not cats, at the bottom.
Yep.
That's a T-shirt design.
Could be.
Rats, not cats. And we'll have like a picture, you know, we'll have somebody like put a picture of a python squeezing the fuck out of Puka.
That's a lot of work, but yeah, we can pull that off, I think.
I like it. It could be an abstract photo. We just got to make sure that we get it to where he's devastatingly good looking.
Oh shit!
Anyway, I do like that though. Rats, not cats.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
We'll find our voice around episode 46. I promise.
Oh, great movie!
I had
and
to.
if you let's see if we can get some interaction going. If you know what that quote was from, let us know in one of our social media pages. We'll give you the links after this episode is over.
Yes.
So we want to interact with you all on social media.
Absolutely. Yes, please interact with us on our social media pages. We enjoy it.
So anyway, the London Sun does a story about the kitten killer, and Luka Magnotta shows up to say that he didn't do it. Just like Homolka. I didn't do that. I didn't do it. Did anybody say that you did?
Somebody's framing me.
The only person that said that he did was a fake persona of himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm being framed. Isn't it obvious? I'm being framed. People are starting fake accounts and framing me. Isn't it obvious?
Oh, it's like that. It's like that movie Liar Liar.
Yeah.
That one scene is just like, what the hell are you doing? I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?
Yep.
It's like, what are you doing? I'm framing myself. Do you mind? Hold on. I'm framing myself. Do you mind?
Oh my god. This guy is such a fucking
but the reporter
narcissist, man. It's insane.
Yeah.
The level of narcissism.
Well, he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist, but he's also an idiot.
He's so much of a narcissist that he doesn't realize the mistakes he's making.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
Todd here is going to take over on the psychology here and throughout the episode. Please note, Todd is not a licensed psychologist, and he has not done any research on the show.
Anyway. I've done a little bit of research. I am not a licensed psychologist, that is true, but I know people, dude. I've worked in the service industry for way too fucking long to not know people. And, yeah.
So, yeah, narcissist piece of shit. Is that your official, unofficial diagnosis?
That's my diagnosis. He's just, he is such a narcissist that he doesn't even realize the unbelievability of his bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he's just so stuck on himself and the attention that he's getting that he doesn't even, either he doesn't realize it or he doesn't care that it's just not believable.
Right.
But anyway,
so
that's my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, non-Dr. Todd.
Yes, non-Dr. Todd Zilla at your service.
Non-Dr. Todd. So, but the reporter from the London Sun said that he seemed to enjoy the attention that he was getting, which, just goes back to what we were saying, narcissist, stupid narcissist. So then he emails the Sun, the London Sun. Yeah, and he says that the next video would be, a fake account. He says that the next video would have a human, not a pussy. The Facebook, that new Facebook group was using Google Street View, and they're trying to locate the building. And they located a street light in Montreal that was featured in some of the pics of him. So they're this Facebook group is doing the police work and closing in on this piece of shit. Meanwhile, Puka Magnotta, Puka Jimmy, Jimmy Puka. He escalates and he starts blogging about fetish and necrophilia. So, and then in May of 2012, he posts videos promoting, or he makes posts promoting this video called "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick," and it's like, you know what? Not only is he a stupid narcissist, he can't even come up with an original thing, because all of his things was like
the 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah, it's like, come up with your own fucking thing. Yeah, he's not original about anything. He's a wannabe serial killer. He's a wannabe famous actor. He's a wannabe everything.
Yeah.
In his life, and he can't even come up with. I mean, okay, if I'm going to post a video of myself killing somebody, which I'm not going to do, obviously, I think I would come up with a more unique title that's not obviously a ripoff of another infamous video.
Yeah. But dude, that was like, how long was this? This was like what, 10 years ago, 12 years ago?
Well, when he started promoting One Lunatic, One Ice Pick, that was in 2012. So yeah,
so
10 years ago.
Times were different then.
Huh?
I said times were different then. Plus, you don't know, dude.
Well,
He's in Canada. He's a fucking Canadian. Blame Canada.
So, anyway, May 25th, 2012. Chinese exchange student Jun Lin doesn't show up for work. His coworkers had his landlord open his apartment after a couple of days of him being missing. Jun's cat was inside and it was starving. They fed it. They fed the cat, so this cat didn't get fucked with. Thank God. But then the police were called. On May 26th, Puka Magnotta posts One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. And it's a man, June, tied to the bed. He's sedated. Puka straddles him, and then he stabs him repeatedly with the ice pick. He dismembers him, and then he eats a little bit of his flesh. He has sex with the pieces. He's basically using his dismembered hand, June's dismembered hand, to give himself a frickin' hand job. And then he shows a puppy. Yeah. And then he shows the puppy, a puppy that he had chewing on body parts. I mean, he escalated big time.
Yeah, he went head first into the deep end there.
Yeah, so this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, if you're killing animals. I mean, if you're killing animals for fun, chances are you're going to wind up being a serial killer.
Yeah.
I could do a Jeff Foxworthy joke, but I won't.
You might be a serial killer if.
So, people report the video to the police, but the police think that it's a fake internet video. It's like this comes up time and time again in these killer, serial killer stories and everything about it's nothing. Yeah, the police department. I'm a fan of the police. I take my hat off to anybody that is a cop, because that's definitely not a job that I would want to do.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I respect them. Every time I see a cop, I give them a nod, or I just kind of give them a respectful nod. Same thing I do with whenever I see a soldier in uniform. I just give them a nod, and they appreciate that stuff. But it comes up in these serial killer cases. It's like, okay, the serial killer, we're dealing with the worst of the worst people, but why did it seems like the worst of the worst cops wind up investigating these cases?
Yeah.
and it's like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I agree with you. It's just like you get the cops that just don't care. And I get it, dude. I mean, cops get shit on all the fucking time, and for no reason. They're just doing their damn job, dude. Give them a break.
Right. And they don't get paid very much either to put their life on the line like that. I mean, we won't get into that, but still, it's just. I don't know. If I'm going to become a serial killer, then I want cops like this, following up on my case.
Well, I mean, dude, and honestly though, I don't think it was so much that the cops didn't care. It's just, dude, he had no physical trail. I mean, except for the internet, dude. I mean, he had no paper trail. He had no credit cards. He had nothing, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, in real life, it's hard to find somebody when you don't have. But
you could look at that video. You could. I'm not much of a video editor, and that's something that I'm going to be starting to get into as we progress with this podcast. I'm going to start learning it. But I can look at those cat videos and what we saw of the one lunatic, one ice pick video. I can look at those videos and tell that they were taken with the same camera.
Yeah.
And that's me not really knowing anything about it. But these cops, they're like, okay, well, this was done. This is just a fake internet video. Well, are the cat videos fake? No. So what makes you think? I mean, you can tell that it was.
Well, dude, even the same. The Facebook, dude, even they were like, dude, you can tell by like when you fucking take the picture, dude, you can get out like that's how they figured out. Somehow, some way, where he was, they found like they got one of his pictures, and they got all the information out of that's embedded in a picture when you take a picture with your phone.
Yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
Really, because it feels like we passed that part. But anyway, not the point.
No, we got that. We're getting.
All right. Well, before we get there,
so, May 29th. A lot happened in the month of May of 2012 with this piece of shit. So, on May 29th, a package arrives at the Canadian Conservative Party headquarters. And in that package, there's a left foot and a left hand found at the post office. Now, I don't know what left and right is in Canadian politics, but in the United States, left is not the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
Left is the Liberal Party in the United States. So if this were done at the United States, sending a left foot and a left hand to the Conservative Party, that right there, that would open up a shitstorm.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Both parties. Yeah, especially nowadays. But I don't know what conservative means in Canada. I know that in Great Britain, conservative is actually the left-wing party in Great Britain. So I don't know how it is.
Well, no, that makes sense because they drive on the wrong side of the fucking road over there. So everything's just flipped over there.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah, I went there.
Actually, I said that wrong. It was the left foot was at the Conservative Party, and then the left hand was found at a post office. So in Quebec, in Quebec, well,
it's all good.
I just got to keep my facts straight. we want people to interact with us for good stuff, not being like, "Oh, you got that wrong," because you can't read your own writing.
Dude, bad press is the best press, man. Bad press is the best press.
So I'll delete my my correction. Nah, I'm not going to. Anyway, in Quebec, an apartment janitor finds a suitcase, the locked suitcase in the trash. He opens it with the help of the police, and he finds a human a human torso, blood-stained clothing, a dead puppy, asshole, a Casablanca poster, and then so they look at the security footage, and it shows Luka and an Asian man entering a building together, but only one leaves. And it also shows him throwing multiple things out at the dumpster at 2 a.m. Apartment searched, but it's completely empty. Yeah, it's actually been it was ID'd as the same room that was from the video. Police get a warrant, and they investigate the room with luminol and a black light, and the whole room lights up. So it's obvious that a brutal murder had taken place there.
Like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah. So, but they have no leads. I don't know how they don't have any leads because of the fact that he had rented that place, so his name would be on a lease, right?
Yeah, he probably rented it under some other name because, dude, he doesn't have a paper trail, you know.
That's true, but I think at this point they're on to him. They're on to him. There's a
they
tip.
have to be.
Yeah, there's a tip that he went to the Montreal airport and took a flight to Paris. He took a taxi to a hotel, but he checked out of the hotel before the French police had gotten there. The news releases photos of him, and they named him the Butcher of Montreal.
Yes, the Butcher of Montreal.
Yeah, that's giving him too much credit, really. Well,
I mean, yeah, he only killed one dude so far.
Right. You know, but he did butcher the dude.
He did. So, I mean, it is appropriate, but not, I don't think, earned.
I'm torn on this thing about having the, you know, these glamorized names like, you know, the Butcher of Montreal, or, you know, the, you know, BTK, or the, you know, the Night Stalker, or whatever. Part of me thinks that it's bad because it glorifies them, and another part of me thinks that it's good because it's like, okay, you know, it's like, okay, this person is a freaking monster, and you need to recognize that.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I agree with you there, but yeah, it's like, dude, you give him this cool sounding fucking nickname, and it's, yeah, you're glorifying them basically,
right? But I mean, I'm like literally on the fence of it because I can see arguments for and against it.
Yes. No, I agree.
I mean, if like, say I mentioned the Night Stalker, for example, if it was just Richard Ramirez, you know, that's not, you know, it's just, okay, if you say Richard Ramirez to me, I'm going to know who you're talking about because I'm a true crime fan. But if you say Richard Ramirez to somebody who doesn't follow true crime, they're not going to know who he is. But if you say the Night Stalker, then okay, yeah, they know who that is.
The AC/DC song?
They have a song called Night Stalker?
Yeah, 'cause I'm the Night
Was that written about him?
No, it was No, it was way before that, but everybody makes that connection. Dude, it's Bon Scott singing it, dude.
So Luka, you know, he checked out at the Paris motel or hotel, and then he flies to Berlin, and he's at an internet cafe, and the owner reading the newspaper about Puka. Yeah, he's just reading a newspaper when all of a sudden Luka enters, and he's wanting to use the internet. The man recognizes him, so he seats him, and he puts him in the back so that Luka wouldn't see him, what he was doing.
Calling the cops.
Calling the cops. there was a cop there, and he tells the cops, like, okay, I got Luka Magnotta in here. I got the Montreal Butcher in here. And the cop radios in for backup, and Luka's arrested. And, he says he's not, I'm not the devastatingly good-looking Luka Magnotta, but I'm Kirk Trammell. But, of course, he was fingerprinted and ID'd, and he was extradited back to Canada, and he was charged with murder 1. He was also charged with indignity to a dead body and publishing obscene material, mailing obscene mail, criminally harassing Parliament members. And then shortly after that, 2 Vancouver elementary schools had been mailed packages. One got mailed a hand, and the other got a foot. And he in there's there's documentation of him. He's obsessing over serial killers, specifically the Unabomber, and mailing stuff.
Mm.
So, but one thing, this is new information about what happened at that Berlin internet cafe. Shortly after he was arrested, Michael Malloy showed up and ordered a drink.
Fuck yeah. Mike the Durable.
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
I love it, dude. I fucking love it, bro.
I had to go there on that one. So,
Mike the Durable.
He's back.
Still alive.
On June 13th.
Jesus, he'd have to be like 100 by now.
He's immortal. He lives with all of us. He's with us every day.
Yeah, of course.
So on June 13th, this is like 2 weeks after Douchebag was arrested. He's ID'd by a friend of his. Yeah, because of the video. He was like, yeah, that's my buddy. Then a couple weeks later, on July 1st, there's a head found by the lake. And, and it's proven to be June Lin's. So a fund was set up for Chinese students in June Lin's name, or, a scholarship. So, which, at least something good came out of this. So of course, Jimmy Luka, he pleads not guilty, and he's like, okay, Manny made him do it. But it comes out in court that there's a lot of similarities to the movie Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone's character was Catherine Trammell. Yeah, in that movie, she straddles her victim and stabs him with an ice pick. And there's a stained glass window in the same position as that Casablanca poster. Catherine Trammell has an abusive ex named Manny Vasquez. Have we heard of Manny before? So no phone calls were made, and this came out in court as well. No phone calls were made from Luka's phone when Manny supposedly called. The attorney tried Basic Instinct. He got Basic Instinct entered as evidence. They watched Basic Instinct in the courtroom, or at least that scene, but it was found not relevant, and I don't know why it was found not relevant.
Not the leg uncrossing and crossing scene.
Say that again.
They just watched that scene, not the leg uncrossing,
right?
Recrossing scene,
right?
Where we saw Sharon Stone's hoo-ha.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't relevant, but it wasn't necessary. You know, they didn't need that because Jimmy Puka Luka Magnotta was found guilty on all 5 counts. And he had life with no possibility of parole for 25 years.
For 25 years.
Yeah. It's like that scene in Team America World Police. Everything, my whole plan is going to come to fruition in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
But still, it's like, but they, like I was saying before, they don't have the death penalty there, and they don't have life there. Like there was a serial killer there, and another one that I'm sure we're going to cover, named Robert Pickton. He killed 49 people, Canadian, and that was
so. What is that like? What is like 49 people Canadian is what, like 20 people American?
Something like that. But he
I don't know. I don't know what the exchange rate is. My bad. I did. I couldn't help it. I had to.
So after all is said and done and everything, Luka's mother, what was her name? Where's page 1?
I don't remember.
Anna Yorkin. Luka's mother.
That's it.
Yeah, Luka's mother, Anna Yorkin. She's still going on the interview circuit, doing interviews and everything, and she swears that Luka is not guilty and that Manny is real. And and then, fast forward to 2020, she says, she goes on an interview and everything and says that Luka should be released because of COVID.
Yes, I did see that on like some Google search I did about this.
Yeah, it's just, come on, man. I mean, yeah,
and he's married
you want to talk about a freaking enabler.
To another inmate.
Huh?
And he's married to another inmate now, too.
Yeah, you were saying that, but I didn't have that written down. And but
dude, it's not like he married somebody that was like coming to visit him, that was like a super like stalker fan.
So he married.
Oh, I want to marry you. He married another inmate,
a male inmate. I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I would hope so.
Well, I don't think that they have unisex prisons.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the max fucking security prison he's in isn't fucking.
What I can't get over is like the interviews with his mother and everything. She's just totally she's like total enabler mindset, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about okay, what created this monster, and I'm betting that she had a lot to do with it. He was probably spoiled rotten as a kid, and like, he's one of those kids that could. Doesn't matter what he did, he could do no wrong.
Well, he was the oldest of 3 children.
Huh?
His father left when he was young.
Right.
His sister was the only other person he ever called beautiful.
Right, I remember that.
So his parents got divorced, but he was like, his mom was still a big part of his life. And then, but after his parents got divorced, his grandmother became a big part of his life. But then his grandparents got divorced. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, if you're grandparents and you're old, why do you get divorced? You're both going to be dead soon. Why get divorced? I mean, dude, in the pictures I saw of his grandparents, they weren't like young grandparents, They weren't in their 50s or 60s. They were in their 70s, possibly 80s.
Right. I mean,
at least from the picture I saw. I do not know their ages, so please don't bash me on that. But I mean, it was like, dude, if you're that old and you've been married for that long, why get divorced? Just wait till you die.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Move down to the villages and have fun.
The Villages. I can't believe you brought that up.
Oh, God.
But yeah, just move down to the Villages and
Yeah,
fuck around on each other and
stock
just
up on
live
some-
together. I was like, dude, you're all gonna die soon anyway. It doesn't matter.
Stock up on some loofah sponges. Have fun. And you know what? Listeners, Google it. Villages, Florida. The Villages in Florida. Just
Yeah.
Google it. I'm not going to digress and explain it. Just it's worth a Google though,
It is. It's definitely worth it.
because it totally makes sense with what I just said about just go down to the Villages and have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are
Anywho.
we are total Florida men.
Yes.
So, anyway, all right, another episode in the books. We've taken out the trash that is Luka Magnotta.
Yes, we have. Rotten jail, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I hope you get COVID. No, not you, Luka.
I know. I know what you meant. Dude, I hope he gets AIDS and dies. Is AIDS even a thing anymore?
It's around, but it's treatable now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're Magic Johnson, he didn't have AIDS, he had HIV.
Yeah, then he went to Africa and had all his blood changed out, and now he's magically cured.
I've always thought that a 100% blood transfusion, like a long term, like, just a tube going in and a tube going out. I've always thought that would. I've always had the thought in my head that would cure AIDS.
Yeah. Well, apparently it does, because that's what he had done. Or at least according to the internet, that's what
maybe
he had
not.
done.
Maybe
So,
not a transfusion,
you know.
but like passing it through something like a heater where it heats it up just enough to kill the virus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist, and I don't pretend to be, but I've always had that thought. It's like, there might be something, it'd probably be excruciating, but it would work.
I said Bill is not a scientist, and nor does he have any knowledge of the process we are discussing.
And I haven't done any
please
research.
take this
for the
all with
show.
a grain of salt. And he has not done any research. So take it with a grain of salt.
Oh man!
I had to, bro. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. That was funny. I did it to you earlier.
I know.
So, oh man. So, all right. Yeah, like I said, we've taken out the trash that is Luka, Puka, Jimmy Magnotta.
Jimmy, Edwin. What was his name? What's his real name?
Hold on.
Edwin, something, Kirk, something, Newsom.
Eric
something, I don't know.
Clinton Kirk Newman.
Newman, that's it. Newman!
Of course he's Newman. Newman! Of course he's Newman. Anyway, so let's wrap this thing up.
Anywho.
We got our social media to tell you about. On Twitter. Twinter.
The fuck is Twinter?
Maybe Twinter is what it's going to be called after Elon Musk gets done with it.
Once Elon Musk takes over?
Huh?
Said once Elon Musk takes over?
Yeah. Twinter. I don't know. Anyway, on Twitter, it's CKC_beer at Twitter. And on Facebook, it's Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer Podcast.
And on Instagram, it is CKCAB 2022.
Right. And our email address, if you want to send us a direct email, is billzillaprod@gmail.com. And we ask that if you send us an email, you put in the subject line which podcast you're talking about, because we have two. And our other podcast is Bill and Todd's Excellent Digression. It's a podcast where we, a comedic look about, reviewing mostly sci-fi TV shows and movies. But we'll, I'm sure that we won't limit it to that, but that's what we're starting out as. So yeah, and that's also our YouTube page, but there's nothing on it yet, but there will be.
Yes, we have plans.
We do. We got some good stuff coming. I mean, I'm really enjoying doing this podcast, and thank you for listening. I'm serious.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much. I mean, it means the world to us. It really does.
Yeah, and especially the bump that we got last night. I mean, that, it's just, we're still we're still infants in the podcast scene, but we're hoping that we'll create a niche in people, and we'll quickly become one of the more popular ones, if not the most popular one. Nah, I ain't greedy. But I can dream, right?
All right, Luka. What are you gonna do? Start a bunch of fake profiles and start bombing us?
What did you say?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I said, okay, Luka. What are you gonna do? Start a bunch of fake profiles and start following us?
Yeah. We should hire Luka as our PR guy.
No shit, dude.
We'll pay him $20 a week into his commissary fund.
Yep. And you get on the computer and you make us fucking huge.
Right. And
because you're obviously good at that.
We got you hooked up with your commissary. If you
yeah.
Anyway.
Your commissary will be hooked up, bro. You can get cigarettes, you can get whatever you want.
And now we got to do your favorite part. Music.
All right. So, if you listen to the last podcast, you probably know that I'm in a band. Play 80s retro fucking music, like pop rock stuff. If you're ever in the Central Florida area, feel free to come by and see us. You can check us out. We're on Facebook. It's Retroactive Days on Facebook. Check us out. Our schedule's there. If you happen to be here when we're playing, come see us. Yeah, it's DAZE Days, not right. DAYS.
Right.
Sorry, I forget things.
And if you show up, you talk to Todd. He's the Grizzly Adams looking motherfucker.
Not anymore, dude. I trimmed my beard, dude. I don't look like Grizzly Adams no more.
Oh, really?
We're gonna have to put a new picture up because I'm much more refined now.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, dude. If you're ever around, if you're ever in the area, check out the Facebook. If we're playing somewhere that's near you, come see me. Introduce yourself, and I might buy you a beer.
Right. And
I have to say might now because, dude, I just think that I just will buy you a beer is going to come back and bite me in the ass.
Right. They'll show up. They'll show up with a truckload of people. We're your number one fan, and you're like, shit. I'm working for free for the next 6 months.
Show me. Where do you follow me at?
So, my music is my original music. I'm not in a band right now, but I do original music. It's Bill Selby, and it's on all major platforms: Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. It's just search for Bill Selby, you'll find it. And in our previous episode, our first episode, we actually played one of the songs because I wrote the song about our subject, Michael Malloy. So
yes,
so
good song.
Check that out, and also if you're listening to us in your platform, lets you do ratings and leave reviews. Just hook us up.
Yeah, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us whatever your platform allows. And
if you want to tell us that we suck, tell us that too. And we're going to start reading. Once we start getting emails, we're going to read them. And if you tell us that we suck, then we'll probably read yours first. Shit, what did I just do?
Yeah. Yes, we will do hater mail.
That's all we're going to get now is hate mail. You guys suck. Hey, I don't care.
Like I said, bad press is the best press.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway,
Anywho.
Huh?
I said anywho.
Anywho, we're gonna wrap this thing up and get out of here. Should we tell them who we're doing next week, or should we keep it secret because we don't want any other podcast like hearing what we're gonna do and steal our thunder and get that episode out before we can? Because our next subject nobody's done a podcast about. This is a complete total
Make 'em
unknown
wait.
as far as true crime podcast.
Make them wait.
They can wait.
They can wait. Make them wait because, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That adds a little bit of mystery to it. So now
True.
they have to tune in if they're interested, you know?
Yeah, and we're not going to do that with every episode, but when we come up with one that literally no other podcast has covered, yeah, we're going to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, it's got to be a mystery, I think.
Right.
Anyway.
All right, we are out of here. We hope you like this. We hope you like the episode. We hope you keep listening, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you next episode. Later.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.